No glasses.
What?
I didn't bring my glasses.
Oh, fuck.
I'm good.
I got a pair there.
They're not bad. This ain't too bad.
You need glasses yet?
Yep.
You do?
Yep. Just for far away stuff.
Just for far away?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not like old man yet.
Well, not like... like, I can't read the TV. The guide on the TV.
Right.
I can't read that shit.
But if you had to, like, look at a cereal box and read a cereal box,
I can read, like, a book and all that stuff.
You don't have to take a picture of a cereal box and then blow it up on your phone?
No.
Jesus Christ, man. It's brutal.
Terrible.
It's like a light switch, dude. It's like a light switch. You can see fine like that. Like, you're like, oh, I can read. Like, no problem. And then one day, you just can't fucking see anything. Anything at all.
But, like, from where you're sitting, if you had the guide up on that TV, I couldn't read it.
No kidding.
That's fucked.
I'm good that way, but, like, instructions on a can of soup, not a chance. I take a picture.
My wife's the same way. She's just like the pharmacy glasses, just off the rack.
Yeah.
But
how old is she?
43.
Oh yeah, that's about the time. That's about the time it gets you. I was lucky. I think I made it to 46, and I was still like hearing all my friends dropping around 40, where they were going blind, and then I was like, I don't know, I'm 46, I'm still doing it, and then fucking is gone. Like, it didn't gradually go away. It was like one day, it seemed like one day I had it, one day I was blind as a bat, couldn't read a thing. And at first you just started noticing, you're like, I can't see in the dim light. You think it's just the lighting, right?
This computer screen's bugging me.
Yeah, something's wrong with the screen. I got a new monitor.
Yep.
And then you realize, oh, I'm just old.
I was in denial for a while.
Yeah.
It
just
sucks.
Get them.
Makes a world of difference, though.
Oh, yeah.
It sucks being limited, man, in any way. Like, when you used to be good at something and then all of a sudden you're not good at something, and it's just because you're deteriorating, like, you're just like...
Your body's saying nope.
Yeah, it really does suck. Like, what can I do to fix that? It was like, nothing. Like, you're just old now.
Yeah.
Same with gray hair.
Yeah.
Your body's like, you don't need color. That hair can die. I got to keep your heart going.
Yeah, like, gray chest hair was a real, like, upsetting thing. Now I'm kind of like, I'll let it go. Gray pubes are still, like, fuck them.
Yep.
You know, like, nobody wants to see gray pubes on anyone.
Not even old people.
No, not even old people. No. I think the only persons that should really shave their vagina are old people, or shave their privates. Old people. If you're young, you got a nice black mane of hair for your crotch, like, you let that fucker go. That's what it's supposed to be.
Just like the 70s.
Yeah. I always think about that. It's like, you know, I'm not saying vaginas are ugly, but you got to say, if a vagina was a person, they would have a character face. You know? They would be the type of face that you would say, you should keep the beard, you know? When they shave the beard and you see more of their character face, you're like, it probably should have a beard on it, you know? And that's why it surprises me that the fashion of vaginas had gone so much to bald, when that leaves them exposed to see how hideous they truly are, you know?
Just the porn industry.
Just put a fucking mustache on it or something to cover it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I when I started watching pornography when I was a kid, you'd watch pornography
to see the bush.
Yeah, like, I would look at Playboys and Penthouse and all that, and I still really didn't know what a vagina looked like. Even when they would show the lips, there's so much hair and all that stuff in the mix that you really didn't know what the definition of it looked like. You know, like, it wasn't that graphic either. Like, that was enough for porn, and then they kept raising the bar of porn, you know, and then now it's all, you got to be banging your stepmother or your something like that in order to make it worth. What the hell's going to happen, like, in 20 years where they keep raising the bar? You know, now we're already in incest is the most popular thing. What's the next? You know, it's going to be like
a beautiful circle again, just missionary porn.
You think that I think that what's going to happen is that eventually people will stop associating real life to porn. Like it'll eventually become so like not like they'll be like kids will be like, well, you know, there's porn, but that's not. I don't want to like have to always choke a person down and spit in their face. You know, I just want to like have a nice romantic time with my partner and put my privates in their privates.
Like a lovemaking session.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? A little just one-on-one, blow out the goo and go to sleep, Mm-hmm. I don't need to fucking make a rape fantasy for you or whatever. Get you stuck in the dishwasher. What does it have to be?
They had it in is it Demolition Man, that movie? Wasn't it all virtual reality? There was no touching.
And they had porn, virtual reality porn?
Yeah, they had to put these fucking headsets on, and you weren't allowed to touch or anything like that.
Is Demolition Man Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock's?
And Dennis Rodman.
Buttocks.
Dennis Rodman?
No, it wasn't Dennis Rodman, sorry. It was Wesley Snipes with blonde hair.
That's so racist, man.
I see it, though.
No, you could get those two mixed up because of the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember that movie, though.
It was set in the future,
mm-hmm.
and you got ticketed for swearing. You weren't
Right,
allowed to swear anymore.
Yeah. I do kind of remember that movie now. I just don't remember I get it mixed up with Judge Dredd. Is that also Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, he was in that movie.
Was he?
Judge
I don't think
Dredd.
I ever seen that one.
No. That sounds like a Sylvester Stallone. I think you're right.
What about who was in Tango and Cash?
Sylvester Stallone and Goldie Hawn's husband.
Oh, and Kurt Russell?
Yeah.
It was Sylvester Stallone was the other guy?
I think so.
In Tango and Cash?
I have to look that
I've
up.
never seen that one either.
I don't know about that one. I'm going to say maybe not Sylvester Stallone in Tango and Cash. I think you got the one guy right. But, yes, I don't know about Stallone.
It is.
It is?
Yep.
Sylvester Stallone's the one guy in Tango and Cash?
Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, and Terry Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher, who was pretty hot back in the day.
Superman girl, right? She went to see on the Superman TV show.
Yeah. But now it seems like, it's like saying you think, what's her name? Kathleen Turner is hot, right? Because she was hot. Romance and Stone, Kathleen Turner was hot, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden she was like the furthest thing from hot, She was just like an old lady with a man's voice.
You ever seen a picture of that girl from Top Gun?
Oh, I heard she fell apart.
Kelly
McGillis. She also aged not well.
Not well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
She looks like Kenny McGinnis.
Really?
Yeah.
Went very masculine, eh?
Yep.
Nicole Eggert?
Yep.
Baywatch girl.
Baywatch girl, right? She did a whole like spoof where she showed her old body, like in the old Baywatch stuff, and then like she just kind of like embraced the fact that she had gotten not as hot.
She packed on quite a few pounds, didn't she?
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
Who is the girl from the Halloween movies?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, she got old looking, but she's old.
But she still looks good though.
Yeah,
like she still looks good and looks like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember she used to do yogurt commercials.
Jamie Lee Curtis's tits in Trading Places were really good. That I didn't expect to see. Hey, do you remember Trading Places?
I remember the movie, but I don't remember seeing her boobies.
Oh yeah, you see her tits in that one, like full on, full tits in that
Halloween
one.
too?
I think in Halloween you see her tits too. Yeah, yeah. She was she had and then in the True Lies she was just in the lingerie, but she was in good
hell
shape
of a dancer.
Good shape for that. But still, like the face, butterface. I think more of a butterface. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
she's yep.
What?
Nope.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, not didn't age poorly.
No,
but didn't age the best, And then you're like, most people aren't going to look like they did. Like, you watch that Friends reunion or whatever? No, of course you didn't. No one did. If you watch the Friends reunion, none of you guys watch that shit, right? Because it's
Nope.
If you did, I would be definitely, Wes, you'd be down a peg. You'd still be on the show, but you would be in danger of losing your favorite position.
That's fair.
If you watch the Friends reunion, and especially if you enjoyed it, if you watched it because you had to, and you made fun of it, your wife was into it and you were doing it because
She was
I
like,
would
"Leave the
understand,
room."
but you still are going to be not seen as well in my eyes. But anyways, from what I did see of like the previews or whatever, the stuff they got on the clip when you're going down the clicker is they're all old, you know, they're all got a lot older, right? And I think that like you can't really say any of them. They all look like Funhouse versions of their characters from when they were on the show, right? Like no one really looks that good. The Lisa Kudrow is probably the most normal, like the most the same.
Courtney Cox got into the surgeries.
Yeah,
She got her boobs, and then her lips were pretty
yeah. I watched that
poppy
show
for a while.
I watched that show Cougar Town way back when, and it took me like a few episodes to get over the lips and all the work, you know,
Yeah.
before I could just get into the character because I couldn't get over how much the face got messed up.
I thought she was fine before.
Yeah, like Meg Ryan.
Whoa.
She did the same thing, eh?
Yeah.
Natural beauty. She went and fucked her face up.
That girl from the dancing
Nicole
movie,
Kidman?
Patrick Swayze.
Oh, that girl. She had good plastic surgery. She looked great, but
Yeah.
she looked nothing like herself.
Nothing like, yeah.
Jennifer Grey. Yeah.
Right.
And then she didn't even look like herself, and then
Nope.
she couldn't get the work.
Nicole Kidman, you were saying?
Yeah, Nicole Kidman too. For a while there, she looked like she almost unrecognizable. But I think over time, it either like absorbs in your face, or
Or someone says, hey,
someone
whoa.
says like take some of that stuff out.
What are you doing?
Yeah, because you don't really look young. You just look you just look fake. Yeah, you just don't look old. They're like you look like this. What a fake version. So I hear even about like people in their 20s that get plastic surgery, and then they look like a person in their 60s who got a plastic surgery.
You can always tell by
You
looking
know?
at their arms, though,
Yeah, that's true.
right? They got a nice tight face and bingo underarms.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about those arms, man.
Nope.
You got those flabby like scrotum arms. You're gonna get those when you're old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just jiggle.
that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Well, should this lead us into the commercial? Or should we just play the fucking theme song and get this thing going?
Yeah, I don't know. You want to do the commercial first?
You know what? Let's give the people a good old fashioned theme song.
All right.
Thank you. Hot crowd here at the Dutch Hall. Welcome, everybody. We are the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke. I am your host, Pete Van Dyke, and today we have a Season 8 All-Star team, I would say, as always. We have running the board, our co-host, Kevin Van Dongen is here, everyone. Oh, that is so hard on
That
yourself.
is it.
So hard on yourself. You gotta work on that, Kev. I think we can get you some better help.
I think I need it.
Because you have a low opinion of yourself with that applause. And we're making his return to the hall from the Nocturnal Emissions, my favorite of all those people that ever played instruments in the Nocturnal Emissions. This is my favorite, and he's back in the pool shed. Ladies and gentlemen, the balls of the Nocturnal Emissions, Whiskey, Wes Haegens, everyone.
He gets a long one.
As long as Beavers deck that, applause. And I am your host and two times President of the Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke.
A long one, too. Oh, you get the fade out.
Oh, did you hear that one guy in the back? He said he wanted to make sure that you heard that he was still clapping.
Yeah.
You know? And I did hear it.
One extra clap.
Yeah. I'm going to call that guy, I like to pretend when I hear those applause that it's a person at home listening to the show. And I always think of one listener, Billy Slayman. He tells me that he listens washing his dishes. He washes his dishes, and then he listens to our show while he washes the dishes.
Nice.
So that's who I like to picture, that guy, that straggler clapper at the end. I think it's Billy Slayman.
I think so, too.
So people, this has been a big week. We kind of switched it up a bit because we end every program with see you next Thursday. And we had like a little scheduling issue with Thursdays. So I decided, what else could I do with the CUNT acronym? The only thing was Tuesday.
That makes sense.
And it turns out that was the original acronym.
No kidding.
Yeah. She's being a real see you next Tuesday. So, hey, we're doing a show on Tuesday now. They'll still be coming out on Thursdays. Don't worry about it. If you're an audio listener, you don't even know this is a Tuesday. It's a Friday, most likely, because you're driving to work or whatever. So who fucking cares when we're doing it? But we're working our way towards 2 a week, and we're still trying to keep we're trying to make it easier for people who, like, who used to be part of the show, like Wes and, like, Michael, and maybe even someday, like, our good buddy, Charters.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Oh my God! I forgot to introduce our co-host. I'm so sorry. He's sitting there in the frame, minding his own business. Ladies and gentlemen, Charters Robot. Everyone, I forgot. Charters Robot. He has been on the show now for about a month or two. He is, by all accounts, a successful invention on the program. He's served the purpose of replacing my friend Dave Charters quite well. And my favorite part about him is the fact that he doesn't, like, the real Dave doesn't know anything about the fake Dave, the robot Dave. And I had Dave's kids over to my house for a swim, and I had him come check out the robot. So now they know about it. And they have videos of it and everything, and they are not telling their dad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So he still doesn't know, as far as I know, which makes me real happy. I'm hoping we can do it for like at least a year and eventually just make it outrageous to the point where he has to acknowledge it.
Come and face it.
Where it gets back to him somehow, and where maybe he's like, we go a little too far one week. And then finally Dave has to confront me of it. Or he's eventually just going to come in here one day and say, what the fuck is that? Which would be the best.
Well, I'd love to see him have an argument with his robot.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him to call in just to like see him one time. And he's no, it's just, and so I don't know. His kids seem to really like it. Yeah. And then I was a little afraid that they would see it as me poking fun at their dad,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they wouldn't like me poking fun at their dad. But you know what? His one son said, I wish I had a friend who loved me enough that he made a robot of me, is what his son said. So they see it as what it is. It's a flattering tribute to my dear, dear friend Dave, this robot.
For
right?
sure.
It sure is. Right, Dave?
Yeah, what's your problem, man?
I don't have a problem with you, buddy. Everything's aces.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Charters, I don't get this thing going. So this is a game we tried. We had it in Wes and Kevin. We told them that this whole show is going to be called Guess How Pete Got Poison Ivy on His Dick. Which is a good time to tell you I got poison ivy on my dick. Right?
Okay.
I've had it for about a week. I think I'm at the tail end of the poison ivy in my dick. I think I told you guys after last week's show that I did have the poison ivy on my dick. That was about the day I had the revelation that I knew it was that. It wasn't just maybe a dry skin, maybe a little bit of the hair's growing sideways, making it itchy or something like that. I finally had to admit it because there was 3 like bumpy, blistery kind of lines of irritation and on my shaft, and then it's incredibly itchy. I was telling you before, like you couldn't move your dick at all. You couldn't like if you like were walking and your dick was moving in your underpants or something like that, that would create enough friction that's going to make it so itchy, If it changed positions at all, the only thing I could do for relief was put an ice pack on my dick, just to freeze it up so I wouldn't feel itchy. And then if you wait long enough, it'll dry up and it'll go away. and it'll just reabsorb in your body. But when it dries up, it doesn't allow the skin, because your dick is it's like a chameleon, you know. It gets bigger and smaller, and it changes sizes and shapes and stuff.
Not colors though.
No, sometimes it changes color. I've had mine definitely more purple at times than others. You know, I would say that. But the skin that was like blistered up and it was drying, like it doesn't like contract like the rest of it. Right? So like everything else would kind of contract, but then the blister or the bubble or the irritation, it was just like look like dinosaur scales, you know, and it would just stay bubbled in the front.
Did you take any pictures?
No, I didn't. I would show it to my wife about once a day. I would say, like, you would like to see my dick and how it's doing? And I would and then and the kids would be like, have fun.
Was she like,
to my wife?
Okay.
Because I would ask in front of the kids, I would be like, hey, you want to come see my dick and see how it's doing? And then she is always curious, eh? She's always curious to see what's up with it. So she would come and look at it. And usually say not too much.
No,
just go, you know, she's observing.
Yeah.
And it would never turn into anything dirty.
That's a sign of a good doctor, though.
I know.
You don't want to gasp.
No, but I would like someone to say, like, can I kiss it better?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yep, you better get used to having poison ivy in your mouth.
Yes, you may.
Yeah. But she didn't say that at all. In fact, I've been on the shelf, and since this arrived, I've been on the shelf.
Injured reserve.
Yeah. Even just giving it a good old special time for yourself, you know, like you just want a little alone time. Nope, none of that, because you would be just like frictioning up this bad boy, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to spread.
But, you know, as the healing process goes on, I tried different things to moisturize the area. And, you know, you put a little moisturizer on that thing, and sometimes you get carried away.
Well, you got to rub it in good.
Things happen.
Yeah, things happen. You're like, maybe this is the ticket. Maybe this is my way back in.
Yeah.
You know?
And you don't want to get poison ivy on your hands, for Christ's sakes.
No, heck no.
No.
But you know, I'm willing to take the chance sometimes. Sometimes you just have to. Right?
You got to moisturize. That's one thing you got to do.
Anyways, it seemed to work. So what we decided to do is that it is not a usual occurrence to get poison ivy on your dick. Most of the time, you'll get that stuff on your legs, on your arms, that sort of thing, but not on your dick. So I thought it would be a good game to play where we would ask the people in the room, just go around, come up with their best guess as to how Pete got the poison ivy on his dick, and then I will tell you the correct answer at the end of the show. But before we do that, we got to do commercial, and then we have to get to a segment we call feedback. We got feedback. But welcome to feedback. We got feedback. This week's segment is brought to you by our friends at Amazon. If you'd like to, go to livefromthedutchhall.com and click on our Amazon banner. Then you do your Amazon shopping, and then we get the money, not Bezos. We're not going to spend it on a rocket ship to Mars or whatever the fuck that guy's doing. We're going to spend it on this bullshit.
Candy.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So I think you should do that. Go to our website, click on the banner, and do that stuff. And I also want to let you know about Dutch Hall's Patreon site. Thank you to Jen Husko, our only Patreon sponsor. She is, as a result, our queen, and we are at her beck and call to do whatever she wants us to do. We will gladly do it for Jen. If you would like to join her and have us be your bitches, please go to patreon.com/Dutch Hall. And there's a lot of different options you can do to support the show. There's also some options there for small business if you're looking for a small business sponsorship. So go to patreon.com/Dutch Hall. And I also, Kevin, you have a low opinion of yourself, right? We talked about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think maybe It's something you can think about. In my case, I've achieved quite a bit of help from therapy in the last few years, and that's why this sponsor of our program is I'm so happy to have, because I see the value of it for people out there, and that is our sponsor called BetterHelp. If you are if there's something that's interfering with your happiness or holding you back from achieving your goals, maybe you could look at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not a self-help line. It's professional counseling done discreetly. It's available worldwide. No matter where you're listening to this show, you can call BetterHelp and get professional help. And within 48 hours, a professional therapist will contact you. And once you subscribe to the service, you really have access to them whenever you need them. If you're not happy with the therapist that you have, you can switch at any time. It's a lot cheaper than conventional therapy, and you're still getting the access to professionals. We use it in our family, and I've used therapy like the regular way. And this is like, to be honest, it's like half price. It's really is a reasonable price for what you get, because you can get way more help, and it's costing you just the one monthly fee, which is very reasonable in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And special deal for Dutch Hall listeners, if you go to if you go to BetterHelp.com, Dutch Hall listeners will get 10% off their first month. That's BetterHelp.com/Dutch Hall. That's BetterHelp.com/Dutch Hall. And I think that's it. You're living a better start living a better life today. Thank you to BetterHelp for being a sponsor of this program.
What is it? Click for a better tomorrow?
I don't know what Beaver said. I forget.
Every week.
Yeah. Click for a better tomorrow.
I think it's click for a better tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. He was very happy, eh?
Oh, yeah.
And he put that out, and he was proud of himself.
Yeah,
what I liked the best, my favorite ad so far, was the Dan Brennan BetterHelp read, because he just didn't understand it was a commercial at all, and just started like telling stories through it, like that weren't letting me do the read. You know?
Yeah.
So I kind of like that the best. And
Mike's was
the
strong
one with
too.
Mike's was strong, where
Yeah.
Mike where I said that first question, and Mike was like, nope.
No
Need for this product at all. It was like, what? You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, those are kind of the best. What's nice about these internet ads is that you can read them, and or you don't have, like, most of them get the fact that we're not conventionally professional, like that we're a bunch of jackass bumblefucks, and so they say, like, just make it your own. As long as you kind of hit the marks, I think they're cool, but you can still kind of fuck around with it, and they're not going to, like, give you shit about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they realize that I think what people who are paying money for podcast ads now are realizing is that when you get a regular, like if you watch regular TV, for example, right? It doesn't seem like real life when you watch it. It seems like a bunch of people pretending to be a version of a person that doesn't exist, you know?
Yeah. I have a headache. I have Tylenol.
Yeah, it's like all bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas if you hear like a podcast, it's people being, for the most part, some version of real, you know? And then they
so they talk real, and then the advertisements sound real, and then people can relate to them.
And then they actually form, like, when a person, like, people listen to this show, they think they know me. Like, I've met people, and they think they talk to me like we've been friends for a long time, and I don't know them, you know. And then so people really do think they make it. So they know you, and then they trust you in some way. Like, I think that I would get more people that would actually, if they needed a product, would trust my opinion of a product than
George Clooney.
Yeah, or some infomercial dude who looks like he's full of shit or whatever, or, you know, the people that you hire or whatever. If you kind of, like, because you're vetted, you spent like hours listening to me, so you kind of think you know me, that you don't think I'm going to lie.
Right.
which I found out. This is my last therapy session. I'll tell you guys about this. I know I don't like talking about this stuff very often, but fuck, sometimes it's scary. It's a little fucking like you realize like I spent my whole life like doing this thing, and then they tell you something in one of the sessions, and you're like, I don't have to do that anymore. Like I'm done with that, and it's like such a relief. I kept a secret since I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. I didn't tell anybody. Like, you know, and like you think you move past it because you're like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, I'm over all that stuff, right? But then you were like, well, you know what? I still think about it all the time. So then you're like, I never told anybody I think about it all the time. I'll give it a try. I'll tell this guy or whatever. Whoo, it's crazy. Like, it's like, number one, you don't really, it's emotional. Like, you hold the secret for so long, and then you tell somebody who doesn't care. Like, really, they're not going to care. They don't know any of the people. They don't know. Yeah. Like, you're just another person. They've heard a lot crazier shit from crazier people, like, you know. So, like, they don't care. But it's, like, such a relief that some stranger knows it. And then they can tell me, like, oh, that's not that bad or whatever. But then also when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I understand now why I do a lot of these other things that I do, because that thing fucked me up. Like, it made me think differently about things. Like, it changed the way I look at people, and I don't like certain things anymore. Like, that's why I can't, like, and all of the behaviors that you have kind of make a little bit more sense. Yeah. Because you're like, I really hung on to this thing long enough that it changed my whole everything.
It's not holding you hostage anymore.
Yeah. That and because I was a kid, it made me react like I was scared. So like I was like hiding. I'd crunch up into a ball and like hide, because if someone found me at that moment, like I would be in big trouble. Right. So at least I thought I would have been in big trouble, because I saw something I wasn't supposed to, like, I was like a sneaky little kid, right? So I ended up witnessing a horror. I was gonna laugh, call it that. Yeah, but I witnessed a horror, and then you're like, you think it's like just that's a long time ago, but it's weird though. We talk that stuff out, and then you're like, a lot of times the guy doesn't even say nothing. He just goes like, well, what do you like? How does that make you feel, or what do you think about that? Or this is how they start. This is kind of bitching about therapy, which the commercial's over anyway. But like, this is how every therapist starts a therapy session. They go, they smile and nod at you and wait for you to say something, right? They don't say nothing, and then you have to, like, pretty much, if you don't have a plan when you go into your therapist, like. If you don't have to, like, if you're not, like, don't have something you want to deal with, then you're going to get nothing. Right. Because you have to go in there, like, and say something to the guy, and then the guy reacts to what you say, or, like, prods you into the answer.
Yeah, you got to be honest. You can't say what you think he wants to hear or she wants to hear either. Like, no. You got to be pretty open.
Yeah. And I get kind of, like, snappy a little bit sometimes with mine, because, like, the last time he was, like, telling me this thing that he already told me. Well, I'm like, I already paid for that. Like, I'm not going to pay twice for it. Yeah. Right? So, don't tell me something that you already told me. I already fucking know that. You got to tell me something new, or I can't pay you no more. Somebody else got new stuff for me, you know? That's what I think. But anyways, you have to really self-direct it, because they're meant to, I think, react. And then it's weird how it works, because then it kind of, like, draws shit out of you, and then you kind of answer your own questions. And then you know what I mean? Like, they're not really. I think you kind of have to figure it out for yourself at the end of the day. I don't think these guys really do anything other than kind of, like, lead you to the answer. Yeah. And then you have to come up with it yourself to buy in, I think. Because if someone tells you what the answer is to solve all your problems, you'll be like, yeah, how does this fucking guy know? Yeah. Right?
He doesn't know me.
But if you say, I know what I got to do to solve my problems, then it's probably going to work, right?
Yeah, I went a few years back after I split with my ex-wife, and I went a few times, and it's dead on what you said.
Yeah, he just sits there and waits for you.
You already know the fucking answers. They just
Guide you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like this thing. I was like, I had two problems, right? I was like, I got to talk to you about this problem, and I've been keeping a secret for like my whole life. So I was like, I'll tell you that. And then he goes, well, the reason you have this problem is because of this fucking secret. Well, that seems kind of tidy, doesn't it? Like the one thing you just heard about. How is that the answer when you just heard about it? I didn't have to tell you. If I tell you a new story next week, that's going to be the answer to it, I bet, you know? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I guess but it does kind of make sense. You start thinking about it more, and you're like, yeah, it does make sense. Because I was crawled up into a ball in the story, and like I thought I was going to get in trouble. Like my instinct then became that when there was a time where you were like scared, you shut down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you shut down as your reflex, especially on a farm, like growing up on a farm, you think your dad's just going to be cool with it?
No.
Like Mr. Shutdown? Like you're going to be like, go back to fucking work.
Yeah.
You know? And so like you get yelled at enough for that sort of stuff, and you learn your conscious mind's got to force against the impulse to shut down, you know? And then that's why I'm an angry, because I have to force it, like with Will,
Right.
you know, to do that. My brother, this is what I think about Will in our family. My brother Paul's got more will than anybody I've ever met in my life. He's afraid of heights. And he builds houses. He's up on fucking high roofs all the time. And I know how scared he is of heights because I see it in he can't hide his nostrils flare when he's scared. Like he pretends he likes rides at amusement parks. I know this is feedback, by the way, but I don't. Oh yeah, but I don't care. I did the commercials, and everyone's supposed to give us feedback. It's all right, Kev.
That's all right.
I snuck that one, and I didn't even know I was saying it. That first one, the second one, I just did it again to see if you gave up on it that quick. You're better. So, but I know we're in that segment, but who cares? We did the commercials, and people haven't been really saying a bunch of stuff. But Mike really liked the one last week about the Leafs. But that's the only thing I got. And I thought last week we put a little thing out. But the weather's nice, and we're in summertime, and that's how it goes. So, what was I saying? I said...
Talking about your brother and being
my
afraid
brother
of heights.
being afraid of heights, yeah. He's afraid of heights. He's scared, and he still goes up there all the time and does this for a living. Like, he doesn't stop doing it. Like, he forces himself to go up even though he's scared. It's got to be exhausting to do that. And because when you're truly scared of heights, your fucking feet are heavy when you climb a ladder. Like, you don't want to go up anymore, you know?
Yeah, and your brain's working extra hard, too.
Your brain's telling you everything you can do not to do it. And my brother still fucking climbs that ladder, and you can see how hard it is for him, you know, like because he doesn't want to do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what it seems like that what like it was like it's like. That's what I figured out. It was like it was like shutting me down, and my conscious brain willed me to go against what the body and brain was telling you to shut down.
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting. Because it's not something that I care about at all. The incident that I kept as a secret, it's like I don't have a problem with it. It's not a something I have to resolve or anything like that. It's like ancient shit, but it formed my brain at that critical time. That
This is how you react.
So it's not about like punishing old. I thought it was going to be like, that's why I always was reluctant to talk to anyone about my childhood or anything like that, because like, who the fuck cares about my childhood? It's like a million years ago, and like I'm not that person and whatever, you know. Like none of the people in the stories would be the same people today, you know.
Right.
So what good does it do digging up the past? I'd always think, but then you realize, it forms your like values and your opinions and all that stuff, and then it kind of makes you act a certain way and then judge people a certain way. Because you have these like preconceived notions that were formed when you were a kid, and you're taking in information unfiltered from everyone around you, and a lot of times you take in a lot of bullshit. You know, it's crazy when you really think about it. Do you ever meet a person and you think they're like complete assholes, and then you kind of get to know them a bit, and you kind of realize, oh, I understand why they're an asshole, and then you don't care anymore?
Yep.
Do you ever do that?
Yep.
You're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. You're like, and you just kind of see them differently. You got a little perspective. Even when we went on vacation with Murr, right? Because we only would get together with Murr in like social settings, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say me, because you have a different, but for me at least, I only saw him at like Buck and Doe's weddings, like when he was playing with the band or whatever. I wouldn't see him like just like for an entire week to see the full spectrum of Murr, you know?
Yeah.
I would just see one little version of him. And to be honest, it wasn't his best version most of the time. So it was maybe. But then we spent a week with him at your wedding, and we both were amazed that we liked him a lot more.
I was completely fucking floored of the version that we got. It was fucking amazing.
If you would have put money that me and you were going to spend a week with Murr, are we going to like him more or less at the end of that week? I think we would have both probably bet a significant amount of our life savings that we would probably never want to see him again.
Yeah. Definitely
right?
never travel with him again.
Yeah. But quite the opposite.
Yeah.
I would travel with Murr and his wife anytime they asked me. They were terrific travel companions.
That's funny. I wondered like if you guys had apprehension, even like oh no.
Oh, we totally did.
Like Murr's coming.
We
what's this gonna be?
Yeah, and we said
we had heard stories.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of set us up. But he was golden all week.
Yeah, we even went up in the pool one time and just said, yeah, we weren't expecting this. And he goes, do you think I'd still have a wife if it was like that all the time? You know, I can't be like that all the time. Like,
just a legend.
I'm blowing off. Oh, boo! I'm blowing off steam. He says,
just a legend that he's got to keep going.
Yeah,
I do like how the fact that you don't even have to know the guy. You just know his name is Murr. That's kind of like half of it right there, right?
Yep.
That's the kind of nickname they don't give a boring guy. You're not Murr if you're just a guy that's not like going to be the subject of conversation.
Yeah, I've never even met him or seen him before. Wow, a picture tonight was the first time I ever seen him.
Oh yeah, you don't have to. You just know.
Nope.
You just know. It's like saying Bill Brasky. You know, like wasn't that Bill When I used to do this thing when I was working at the bank. I remember we go to these conferences every year, and I remember I'd do these things when I was shooting the shit with people because it make them laugh. We talk about I would tell stories about all the old managers that were there in the company because like they were all these old guys that like started with like they would tell these stories that when they started they were all their bosses were like people right out of the army because like the army was like the war was just over and then the people that were in the army that didn't die they needed a job so they just like say okay you're a manager at the bank or whatever like a government bank
You're good with people
and so they would have all these like army people and there's no women in the workplace right so it was a bunch of dudes army guys running this place they didn't make any money they lost money every year and they would just go boozing and they would tell all these like wild boozing stories. And then when women started working at the bank, they all fucked them. Like and then even when I started, because they were still like those guys were still fucking everybody. And you'd go to conferences and you'd see them all sneaking away, banging everybody, all the senior like manager people. And like we'd all be like the new guys would be like, "What the fuck? Like, is this what happens?
What's HR gonna do about this?"
And then like when I left, no one was fucking anyone. You know, like that was all old stuff. You know, but so I would do these impressions in the there was this big communal hot tub thing. And I remember one time I'm in this communal hot tub and I'm like doing these impressions of these old guys who are like telling stories. And the one guy's name actually was I don't care because it's a nickname. but his name was Whomper Thompson. Eh? Which is like, that's the best name for telling stories, because you're like, I was always, when I was telling stories, I was always like, yeah, me and Whomper Thompson were in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan for a conference. Oh, fuck, we were 3 sheets to the wind when fucking Whomper whacks a hooker, and then he would be like murdering whores and, they like fought a hobo, and, I was doing all these stories in the pool, the Whomper Thompson, who's a real guy at the conference.
Sitting in the hot tub with his head down.
No, but one of the managers, I didn't know this, but he was like right behind me the whole time, and he kept like inching closer and closer because he was eavesdropping on the
waiting for his name to come up.
Yeah, he was too new. He wasn't one of the old school guys, and he was laughing too, even though he's a fucking drip, and he was really dry guy. Like he was a cock, total cock. This guy. I quit on him twice. The same dude. I quit from that place twice, and it was the same guy I quit on both times. And it made me happy to quit on him because he's such a dick. And he kept saying to me all the time, Pete, I don't know why you don't like me. I like you just fine, And I'm like, how can you tell I don't like you? Like, I had no idea he knew. And I'm like,
maybe he just wanted you to say why you didn't. Like, he didn't know, but he wanted you to say something like why you didn't.
Yeah, you know what happened the first time I knew I was going to quit the first time, right? He was my boss. And so I was having this performance review, And so I thought, this is a long time ago. This is like 99, I think. And I had this little tape recorder thing. And I thought I could tape my performance review, get him fired up, so he would say something like embarrassing. Then I would just take the clip and I would be able to put it on like a sound bite, and I could email it to different people in the company of him telling me to go fuck myself or whatever, That was my plan.
Yeah.
So I knew, because me and him had a kind of a rocky relationship, and I was going to be agitating him. So, because I didn't care if I got fired or I was going to quit anyway. So I put this tape recorder in my pocket. I hit record, right? And I go in and I start doing my thing, right? I'm trying to get the guy fired up. And turns out every time I try, the guy just fucking handles it like beautifully. He's saying exactly the right things. And me and him end up having a real nice conversation. And he's kind of diffused me, and I'm kind of maybe even thinking maybe I don't even have to leave. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear click, 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 click. The tape was done in my pocket, and the tape recorder just started clicking because it was at the end of the tape. And he's going like, "What is that sound? What is that sound?"
A bad hip.
And I'm like, I don't know, but I reach to the side of my pants, to like, and I hit I'm trying to hit stop, but I hit
oh no,
play and fast forward at the same time. So it goes like that, like you can hear that in my pocket. And I just like jerk my head around, like, what the heck is is that? I don't know where that tape is, but it still exists. It's gonna be boring though, because the guy ended up being nice the whole time. It was terrible. I didn't do anything with it. Still, the story goes over well, because people have retold that story. Like people that I would be at that company, because then I went back to work for them again, and I would be at another conference, and they would tell me, like I would introduce myself to some people, and you're like, "Are you the guy that took the tape recorder in?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's me." Is that true? I'm like, "Yeah, I did that." And then it's nice to know that I'm part of folklore at that place now, eh? That they could just tell stories. You know what he did? I know when I first left, everybody was, when I first quit that job, I would go back once in a while to visit him. This one guy is like, "You're like a folk hero around here, eh? You're the guy that left, you're the guy that got out." And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't just, you in your mind, I rode off into the sunset, but what you didn't see was like once I crossed the horizon, I just like shit my pants and cried myself to sleep. Like and it didn't turn out as good as you think. Don't make me a hero."
I wonder if your name's like in a training manual.
What not to be,
or like make sure you check for audio recording equipment.
Yeah, that's the first thing they do in a performance review. Remember this guy. Make sure this guy doesn't
pat him down.
Yeah, pat him down.
Yeah,
and you think this is ridiculous, but we cite the case of Van Dyke versus
Yeah. The Van Dyke clause in the.
Yeah. That's great. I would take that gladly. There's a bunch of things I think would be. There's a bunch of rules they probably made indirectly because of me. I would say. I would say if you're an employer out there and your employee is like always a problem, they don't want to be there. You should probably give them a mercy firing.
You shouldn't try and change them.
No, even if they're making you money and everything like that, believe me, they're costing you more by like completely poisoning the minds of every other employee there. Have you ever been that guy, Wes?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Are you that guy now?
I might be.
It's hard not to be that guy because like I knew I wasn't supposed to be there so much, you know? Like, this is ridiculous. The whole fucking thing is ridiculous. Like, this is a terrible place. I didn't want to be this, you know? Like, under what circumstances I end up being this, you know? And there were some people who were so happy to be there, too. And I couldn't understand it. And now I understand that there are people that like their jobs, eh? Like,
I enjoy mine at times.
Do you like your job?
I don't mind it. But I think that there's people whose jobs are their identity. That's a big difference.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, eh?
Like, I don't think my job's my identity. I don't mind going there, but...
Right, but it's as good as any other job.
Yeah, that's not who I am.
Right. Yeah.
But some people are like, I'm Joe the lawyer, and always Joe the lawyer, or whatever the job is.
Yeah. And I was never that person either. Like, I always, one of my pet peeves is when you meet a person and they're like, so what do you do?
Like right off the bat?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck does that matter? You know, like, what is it? What do I do? Even when I was proud, we're not proud, but even when I had, like an easy answer, that would be like, still, why would I want to talk about work? I'm not at work, you know? The reason I'm not here is we're not going to go there. Only deal with that shit when they pay me.
Great one on vacations, right? You meet somebody and they're like, so what do you do for a living? It's like, oh, good.
Yeah, even
talking about work.
Doctor's appointments too. They always want to ask you what you do for work, and I'm like, I have enough to worry about right now. Now you're putting me back thinking of work. You know.
I like when a doctor tells you slept on it wrong.
Really?
Yeah, you're like, oh, your neck hurts. Well, I think you slept on it wrong. I'm like, I've been sleeping for good 45 years, more 47. I got it figured out.
Yeah.
How about you diagnose what's really wrong?
Yeah, because like sleeping involves a lot of just like a lying there.
Yeah, I'm doing that wrong.
Like
you suck at closing your eyes and laying there.
Could it be maybe that fucking there's a bone sticking out of my neck or some nerve or something? Can you look more at the body? Yeah, I know. My friend said he went there with a sore neck, and the doctor said, "I'm going to give you a prescription," and then he drew a picture of a pillow, and he said, "You could get a better pillow." And I'm like, was he a good enough drawer that it looked like a pillow? Because I can't picture a doctor if it's gonna look a rectangle.
Well, they can barely write.
Yeah,
when you look at a prescription.
I thought it was a long shot. This guy could fucking draw a good pillow and make you know what it is. I bet you he drew the thing and then wrote beside it "pillow" with an arrow to it for them that story to work.
I don't think I could draw a good pillow.
Why
It'd just
not?
be a rectangle or...
Yeah, it's a hard thing to
put
draw.
some squiggles in it.
It's indiscriminate unless you're good at 3D drawings, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I say. So we have to get to the end of the show, I think.
Talk about your wiener a little bit?
Don't we?
Yeah.
We have to figure out how I got poison ivy on my wiener. No, I know Kevin has a guess, Wes. Do you have a guess on how I got...
Yeah, I got like the first thing that came to mind. I figured you were wandering through your forest and had to take a leak and got attacked by fucking squirrels.
Oh. Squirrels.
And they knocked you down.
Oh.
And right into a patch of poison ivy.
Oh. And I'm going to tell you, this is I'm going to allow you to change your guess because I'm giving Kevin information. So if you wanted to change it at any time, I'm going to say that would be fine. But I'm going to say certain elements of your story seem like you're in the ballpark of it. Wrong animal. No, but and you're missing a few still key elements in there, but you're kind of in the ballparky. Kevin, what about yours?
Mine did involve the forest as well, but I thought you were trying to recreate your dick fart. And you were spinning around in the forest trying to recreate the dick fart, pants down, and came in contact with some poison ivy somehow.
So I was trying to use it like a windsock, like spinning around trying to grab air into the hole through spinning it.
Well, that's better than what I thought, but yep.
And then
I didn't get that far, but yeah, I guess you had to get air in there.
Yeah, in order to fart, you got to put air in the dick hole and then blow the air out to fart.
Yeah.
Wes, man, it's fucking funny, man. I was like, just to go back to the dick fart story, like, I was traumatized and then was laughing and so happy and proud of myself that I just farted out of my dick hole.
Yeah.
Like, who's ever even heard of that?
No.
And I just did it. Like, I was fucking giggling all the way to my car.
That one might be like oh, you did that in private though, didn't you?
I was the only one there. No one even fucking
too
believed it. And I'm trying to, first time I saw my dad after that, I was like, hey, you got a camera up your dick hole, right? Did you have a dick fart afterwards? And no.
He might have, though.
He might have. Either he wouldn't admit it or he didn't hear it.
Oh, there's that possibility. I thought maybe just being like, no, it didn't happen. But inside he's like, oh my God, you did too?
That would be fucking bullshit if he did that to me. Because, number one, if you can't get an honest answer for your dad, who can you get an honest answer from? And what's he ashamed of with the dick fart? That is nothing to be ashamed of, man. That is something to be proud of.
Like, it could be like a Van Dyke thing.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Or I have a fucking floppy urethra. Or, like, I got, like, lips on my on my dick hole. I got little lips on my dick hole. It's like, and then they make the...
You should send Paul in for one and see how he fares.
Yeah, I would send him in for one. If any of the urologists were taking my, what do you call it when you... referrals. But they do not accept my referrals.
No,
there.
they don't.
No. I referred my brother there for years. No, he hasn't said nothing. It's a little, like, Wes, do you think it's a little crazy how decimated the old Dutch Hall crew has become?
Yeah, Mike was asking me if I'd seen Paulie lately, and I'm like, no, I think it's been well over a year.
Yeah, well
since
over
I've
a
seen
year.
him. And I haven't seen Charters, and
yeah, yeah, forever. And like Charters got health problems, and Paul's back's all fucked up.
yeah, I haven't seen Steve in a year.
I bet you I haven't seen Steve in a year too. Steve in a year. I hear he's got a shaved beard.
Oh, really?
Not shaved, but like
Short
beard and a job, like a real job.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. It's weird. Everything's changed. One time the band will get back together.
I think so.
And at that time, I'm not sure if they'll ever get back together. Actually, the whole band, like
no, not the whole.
Everybody all together. I don't know. It's still hard to do, man. It's like weird how that there was the break, and then COVID was like a clean break, and then everything's just like it was just. It'll be different. The core, I don't know what'll happen with that group. It'll be interesting though, to see.
I could see 4 of us playing again.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I could probably only see 3. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to tell. I don't know because I don't even know. Because sometimes when you don't talk to somebody for like a year, you're like, well, maybe that person doesn't like me, and if I don't know. I haven't talked to Steve. What if Steve and me didn't to me and Steve last time we spoke or in our last dealings with one another were great. I didn't have any problem.
Yeah.
Like, there was no problems between us. But then there's been a year where I haven't talked to the dude. I used to see him every day. And so I'm like, well, if that's the case, then maybe I did something. Maybe, like he's got a narrative that he's put on something. Or maybe I'm just worrying about nothing, and he's just going on with his life. I don't know. I haven't talked to the guy at all. So, like, maybe it's all for nothing. So, Steve, I'd put in a question mark, and then Charters, God bless him. I hope he gets better.
Yeah, me too.
Because it sucks, man. The guy's dealing with that shit. People shouldn't have to deal with all that crap. There's enough to deal with. Anyways, these kids are fucking hilarious. So funny having them down. Because they love this guy, this robot. I was playing those Catholic clips, and they were like cackling in here. All of them. Yeah, it's funny, man. Those kids are funny. Makes me laugh because they'll get like it's more. If I'm ribbing on their dad, like they're all in. They're like all in. So it's a great audience. They're like the best audience.
Yeah.
Anyways, so nice to see them. We were probably a year without seeing them, and we would go to it would be like all Dave's, like all his wife's brothers and sisters, and they have like 6 of them in that family, and then his brother and his parents and his wife's parents. They would, for every birthday party, they're all there, plus me and my family, like me and Jane and our kids, right? So like for Dave's kids, like they call us Uncle Pete and Aunt Jane, and they like we were at everything. Like they couldn't tell why we were, like, why weren't we at their Christmas, for example?
Oh, yeah.
Because they were like, why aren't they here? Because they were part of the family too. But it's just because we were just friends, or we're just because we were friends that we would be invited, right? So like to go a year, because then during the pandemic, you're like, you just see your immediate family, you don't see the friends, So those kids, like, that's the longest I've ever been without seeing them. We missed each other. Like it was kind of nice to see them again.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that. It's bullshit, man. What do you think's changed? What do you think the stupidest thing you did during the pandemic so far? Like, did you get into anything that you're like, I never thought I'd get into that, and I got super into this?
No, not really.
Did you did renovations?
Did renos.
Did you bake bread?
I hated them before, and I hate them now.
Did you bake bread?
No.
That's your reno hatred has got it. Your dad does that, doesn't he?
Yes.
So that's got to be part of it. That's
I've
one of
hated
those.
it since a kid. So
Yeah.
You're always helping.
Yeah, voluntold.
Yeah.
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 Get up, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That probably has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Did you bake bread? No.
No, I think the one thing I really got into is I take care of my grass now.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love my grass.
Oh yeah. Not a weed.
Well, I try not to.
Yeah.
But
nice thick lush
yeah,
grass.
I water it a couple times a day and
Oh,
some
dude.
fertilizer on there. It is fucking nice.
I'm with you on that one. What about you, Kev? Have you been your lawn program increased?
Backyard, yeah. Front yard, not so much. Right close to a school, so the dandelions are just out of control.
Oh yeah. I had my dandelion holocaust this year. Went out. It was a ground attack, which is one of those like stab it in the ground, pull it out by the roots thing. I had like wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows full of thousands of dandelions I took out this year.
Yeah.
It made a huge difference though. My yard is really coming around, and I just planted a whole bunch of grass to fill in all my weak spots, and not all of them, but what I had enough topsoil for. And I've been doing the same thing, Wes, man. My yard, like my front hill, I can't really see it, but my neighbors can, and they call it the sand hill because the grass always dies, and it just I run up with my lawnmower, and it just spins up sand, but I don't see it because it faces my neighbors, so I don't care. I forget about it.
Doesn't matter.
But they see it, so they always say how unsightly it is. This year, fucking, I nursed that thing back to health, man. I really appreciate it. And my garden, I've been going crazy with the garden too.
Yep.
But do you have a garden?
Not for food. We got our flower gardens.
Oh yeah. Do you have chipmunks that eat flowers?
No, we have chipmunks that eat our deck.
They eat your deck?
Yes, they're fucking chewing on our deck boards, and it's sinking. So
No,
that's got to come up this year.
my parents would. They told me that there was. They would like just put like a broom handle or something like that over a bucket of water, and they put some peanut butter on the middle of the broom handle or something.
Oh yeah, I've done that for mice.
And the chippies just fall in?
Yeah.
You put like a pop can on the handle and.
Oh, is that how you do it?
spins
The
them in.
pop can, yeah. Yeah, and then they spin into the water.
Yeah, I've caught like fucking hundreds of mice.
Yeah.
It was gross. I was dumping the bucket, and it was just like wet fucking mice, just thump, 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 just piles of them.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy because
It's fucking gross.
Yeah. Ugh.
I hate mice.
The worst is rats, man. Rats are
Yeah.
those rats are like they don't give a shit, man. They're not afraid of you.
Nope.
They have their own program going on. They're super smart. They're frightening. My parents had rats at one point in time. They got into the bird food or something like that. Like, holy crap, they were brazen.
Yep.
And enormous.
See that documentary in New York where they found one, but they put a camera on a mouse or a rat and just watched this thing throughout the day when it would go into like below buildings and stuff, and all the other rats. Is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. In like New York or something, there's
Yeah.
more rats than people. And they'll say like they'll take down buildings, and in the walls there'll be like shelves where the rats have put stuff, and like they're very organized. And stuff. These one time my sister, like this is when my niece was like a baby, so it was like 20 years ago, and my sister calls up and says there's a rat in her baby's nursery, because they lived on this farm that they were using for ginseng, and then they were spreading the straw, and I guess a rat got in the house or whatever. So my dad and me go over there to like try to kill this rat, which we didn't really know what we were doing. So we walk in the house, and literally I pick up like a broom, like that's just sitting in my sister's house. I gotta pick up like a broom handle, like I'm gonna kill it with a broom handle. My dad picks up a crowbar, and then we go and like searching through the house to try to find this thing, and we find it like it was like E.T. like in with the stuffed animals and shit, like
Oh yeah.
oh so gross. And then my dad cornered it and then clubbed it with that.
Yeah.
They scream, eh?
Oh yeah, it was brutal, man. It was really the worst of raccoons, man. I think I've told this story before about that. I heard a raccoon. These old farmers like stabbed this raccoon with a pitchfork, and then they hollered for their friend to go get a gun. And then he was sitting there for like 20 minutes with a fucking pitchfork and a raccoon pressed against the side of this barn, and the raccoon's just screaming. It sounds like a child, like screaming. Wow. It was brutal, man. Like it was the stuff nightmares are made of. Terrible, terrible. And then the guy came and shot it, and then chucked it off the second story, and it hits the cement. That's the thing is, I tell my stories, these kind of stories to my kids, and they always say it's trauma. And I'm like, what?
Just how we grew up.
That's not trauma. That's just what happened.
Yeah.
There was raccoons in there, and they were all in this haymow. Like, you had to get rid of them.
I can't think of how many snakes I killed with a hoe.
Oh, yeah?
And my mom was deathly afraid of them. And she's like, get it. And so that's what you did. You sliced it in half of the hole and threw it in the road.
You know what I can't kill? Really big or nice animals. Like, I mean, even if it's like today I saw a beetle in the pool. It was like, it had like, looked like almost like a scorpion, kind of had the two like pointy things on the top, and the thing was fucking huge. It was an enormous beetle. Couldn't believe how big it was. And like, you should, normally, that would just be like, kill it. But I was like, I can't kill this. It's like a specimen,
Just helped it out.
Yeah, I just put it in the garden. And then the same thing with spiders. I've been in my heater. I found I was pulling open the heater to clean it out, and there was this enormous furry fucking like wolf spider or something like that. But it was huge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing is gorgeous. You know, I can't kill it. It's like probably old, and it's like they don't usually live this long. It's like a good specimen. Like I don't want to kill it. It's nice.
Plus, you don't want it to rain.
Yeah, that's only daddy long legs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so.
right.
That doesn't work.
That's not true.
No, not in July. It doesn't work.
No.
That's for sure. I tried that a lot as a kid. I killed a lot of those fuckers.
Yeah, just to get out of irrigating.
Get out of irrigating. Yeah, it's terrible work.
Mm.
Anyways, you want to know the truth about how I got poison ivy on my dick? The truth, the true story of how I got poison ivy on my dick is that my yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's lonely during the pandemic, and you know, like sometimes your wife, you know, she doesn't even want to be around you so much after he's spending so much time with you, let alone like be with you in the marital way, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, after a long time of loneliness, sometimes anything can look attractive to you. Even a chipmunk hole in the ground,
Oh,
right?
this explains your fetish with your grass.
It does. I think those fuckers were sick of me disrupting their home. They fucking booby trapped it.
Oh,
That's what I think happened. I'm not sure though.
4 of them sitting back in the hole laughing.
Yeah, it could be. It could be the chipmunk hole. It could be, fucking anything that I've been fucking on the ground. Really.
Or a nice tree with a knot hole in it.
Yeah, really. Could be from, putting your dick in anything really will give it to you. Anything of nature. If you put your dick in something in nature, there's a good chance you could get poison ivy. It's a risk you're going to take.
Mm-hmm.
And so who can really say what gave me poison ivy on my dick? But I think it's a chipmunk hole. Anyways, that's it. That's it for it. And if you do get poison ivy in your dick, remember, don't scratch it. And moisturize until you feel sleepy.
Nature's sleeping pill.
That's our advice for this week, everybody. And if you'd like to, tell a friend to listen to our show, or you can support our Patreon, patreon.com/DutchHall. Go to betterhelp.com/DutchHall for 10% off your first month there, or you can go to livefromthedutchhall.com and click on our Amazon banner to do your shopping and help us out that way. Thank you to everybody who has done that. And until next week, anything else you guys want to say? Oh, I have something to plug, actually, but no one's ever going to get it at this end of the show. But I do have a live show in Kitchener, Descendants Brewery, July the 17th. It's an outdoor show on the patio. I'm happy to be booked at something, for fuck's sakes. I'm so happy about it, And so we should be getting back to things should be getting back to normal this summer, and we'll start doing shows. And there'll be more dates. I'm going to try to post them on my website, so you guys can find it there at livefromthedutchhall.com. And that's it. Until next week, we will see you, NT. See you next Thursday. That's it.